Welcome to Educating America. In today's episode, we will look against the First Amendment frauditors with the 10th Amendment. You know, the amendment that they never want to talk about. In December 1791, the Bill of Rights was approved. This would become the first 10 amendments of the United States Constitution. Frauditors like to refer to the First Amendment, freedom of the press. In 1791, the press was newspapers. There were no cameras or video cameras at that time. Today, the press are the people such as reporters and photographers who work for newspapers, magazines, and reputable news outlets. These people have real credentials. Frauditors do not. Real reporters and journalists get prior consent to take pictures or videos. Frauditors do not. One of the favorite places that frauditors like to fraud it is the United States Post Office. They think Poster 7 gives them the ultimate right to record, and they also think that it's funded by taxpayers. No. Liar. Actually, the Postal Service is self-funded. This means that no tax dollars are used. The Postal Service instead relies on the revenue it generates from the sale of stamps, products, and services to fund its operations. Frauditors will point out that photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums, and that's as far as they go. But that's to be used for public meetings where there are no public meetings. And yes, you do need consent from the postmaster or the installation head. The 10th Amendment, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people, which means they had no cameras back then, they had no videos cameras back then. So the press was newspapers. So yes, they can hang up signs, no videos allowed in businesses. These signs hanging up in businesses can be enforced and be protected by the 10th Amendment. Remember, these frauditors are not the press. They are not the journalist, according to the Supreme Court. Frauditors also harass law enforcement. They taunt them, they use vulgar language, they obstruct them, and interfere in the officer's duties. Then they want to make complaints on them, like this one. In this go nowhere complaint form, the frauditor walked into a situation where the officers were arresting a shooter, but the frauditor said he was getting arrested for no reason. And to resolve it, he thinks that the tyrant should be fired and he should receive $1 million for this. Let's take a look at this gem from Good Citizen Journalist. And the defendants are everyone who laughs at frauditors. And his offense that he is alleging is the illegal signs hanging in the restaurant. The place of the offense was Happy Harry's Hot Wieners and Buns. This happened about noontime, and here's what the frauditor wrote. I walked into Happy Harry's to get a hot wiener, and the line started at the door all the way to the counter. Being a free man on this land and a social media journalist, I walked to the front of the line. People were just yelling at me when a 6-year-old almost touched my camera. Told him to step back or I will defend myself. His stupid father butted in. I told him I would fight him and his son. Then went 4 signs stating no videos or pictures on this premises. I ignored those. Then a lady threw a napkin on my shoe. I demanded she be arrested. The police did nothing to her or the 6-year-old, and then I was trespassed and arrested. So you might ask yourself, where do these complaints and silly lawsuits go? Well, let me show you. The complaint forms and lawsuits start out in this very durable, very strong filing cabinet. Every business needs it. And after that, after they've all been checked out and scrutinized, this is where they go next. The complaints and lawsuits finally end up in the official file cabinet, where they will rest in peace for eternity. These are just some of the laws that can get the frauditors arrested and charged with: noise and disturbing the peace, loitering, threatening public employees, stalking, menacing, especially menacing, and trespassing. All these they can be charged with, and judges, please do a better job. So a call out to all concerned citizens. We need to educate America on these frauditors. They're out just to taunt and harass, just to make money off of YouTube, off of people who don't want to play their game. So let's educate the law enforcement, judges, mayors, governors, business owners, both big and small. Their tyrannical acts have to stop now.